All right, so today we're going to talk about 8 common mistakes that people make in Lloyd's Mobile. And honestly, I'm victim of making these mistakes myself, so I'm only telling you them because, well, it happens. One thing being, don't accept turf quests. Okay, if you've done that, you're hurting yourself. Don't do that. Okay, it's stupid how easy that seems for so many people starting out. But if you do this, you're adding unnecessary might to your account that you cannot get rid of. If you plan on trapping later on the road, you will not be able to do so if you have a stupid amount of turf quest might. So don't freaking do that, okay? It's a lot more advantageous not to do that, okay? The second thing is don't be that guy who built the winter stompers, okay? There are some people, man, that honest to God, I think they didn't watch a video from me before they ever started playing this game. You could benefit from not being that guy by simply watching my videos and hitting the like button and not being that guy that didn't, okay? It's really not that hard. It's really quite easy, okay? Because making the right gear versus the wrong gear is a big difference between the people that make mistakes and not. And oftentimes you can very easily judge how well someone knows this game just by looking at what gear they're wearing, because that says a lot about them, okay? The third thing is not saving for Tycoon and Labyrinth and doing them during non-events. And I say this because if you aren't saving for those events and you do it, say willy-nilly, you're wasting what could be a very advantageous thing for you. For example, you could save them and wait until Halos show up and then burn them all during that event. You can make use of these things during Tycoon for hell events for Watcher. There are so many advantages to holding onto your Labyrinth stars and your Tycoon tokens that if you aren't doing this, I think there's a screw loose there. You really need to be doing that. If you're not doing that, you're screwing yourself. So quit screwing yourself. That's not the way. Nobody wants to watch that, okay? All right. Fourth thing. Don't join a rally and not know what the hell you're sending, okay? If you join a rally and you don't know what's being asked, and you're just joining willy-nilly, you're making everyone else pissed, especially the rally lead, okay? Don't do that. Stop what you're doing. If somebody asks for infantry, they don't want cavalry. They don't want mix. So pay attention. It's really simple, but yet so many people, I don't know why. It's almost as if they don't pay attention. I don't know why. It happens though, and then you have to kick them out. And the thing is when you're last 10, 15 seconds into the rally, that is not a good thing. And this goes back to the guy who, for whatever reason, sits back and goes, "Hey, I think this would be funny. I'm going to spam carpets." Sometimes we don't like you. We really don't like you. Sometimes people waste carpets and we question what they're doing. And other times you really realize that they're doing that intentionally. Either way, we don't like you. Don't do that. Okay, if it's asked for, great, but if you do it intentionally, we secretly hate you because we don't know who is doing it. If IGG would add a feature for a change, so I knew who the hell was speeding something up, that would be a huge plus in this game, because it's a certain meta to troll with carpets in this game that way. It's stupid. You see it all the time during major events like Battle Royale, Baron, and so on and so forth, because people love to troll, and that's a funny but expensive way to do it. Fifth tip, okay? And this is really more a common mistake I see a lot of people do, is they'll scout, or they'll iris, or they'll hit an offline target in the middle of a rally league going around to attack it. Nobody wants you to wake it up, so don't freaking do that. So many people do it, and I honestly, you do that, you're going to get kicked. I guarantee you, you do that in a guild, you're going to get kicked. They're going to burn you. They're going to go from hitting that target to hitting you. That is how triggering that is. So don't do it, okay? Because you will frustrate people, especially me. I see so many people do it, and it's not that they didn't know. They know all too well what they're doing. But for whatever reason, they feel the need that they need to just compulsively do it. And it's like, no, don't you dare. The same could also be said for the sixth common mistake I see, which is that people will scout forts and base, and they'll pop into Fury. And this makes sense if you have an alt or something, you don't have anything in there. It does not make any sense if you can get hurt, and you don't have the resources, the troops, or anything. Because you are actually going to get hurt, and when you do, no one's looking at you going, yeah, you can defend yourself. We'll all look at you and go, so, you think you'll get hit in the first rally or the first solo? Probably the first level. You know, like honest to God, when you're in that position, don't be that guy. Don't be dumb. Just don't. If you don't need to be in Fury, don't get in Fury. Okay, you need to play it smart, not dumb. All right. And the seventh mistake is the fact that people get gullible and they'll send attacks at castles that they think are empty. Okay, now this is more a problem with people that are. They look at an account, they see a bunch of resources, and the first thing they go, I'm going to send T4 and T5. The guy that's doing that, you're doing it wrong. Okay, send T2, send T1, and mass send that way. Now, you may not get as much, but you can benefit yourself by increasing your army capacity in other ways, by using your gear, you can go into stat bonuses. And there's many different ways to do it, but primarily by doing it that way, you eliminate the risk that is associated by sending T4 and T5 that way. Because if you do, you can get yanked, and you will get yanked once in a while. And when you do, you'll thank me later, because it doesn't take long to fill an infirmary that way. You can very easily fill an infirmary that way. So take my advice. Don't do that. The last and final eighth mistake that I see people make is they don't add buffers into their rallies. So if you don't have Imp, Cav, Range, and Siege in a rally, you'll find that if you predicted, it's Cav, but you sent Range, it'll flip the march and it'll go Infantry on you. So if you want my 2 cents, if you're having a hard time doing dart nests, add buffers. Don't be a dumbass. And naturally, like the video if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time.